So last night, Bernie Sanders had a huge win in Wisconsin over Hillary Clinton by about 13 points. And you'd think that mainstream media would receive this news by celebrating Bernie's wins in the same way that they celebrate Hillary's wins. Some outlets did support Bernie in that way, or at least make a clear case that he has, a good chance to go on and continue this momentum. But then there are other places that didn't quite feel that way. So let's first get to the Daily Beast. So after Bernie Sanders won Wisconsin, they put out this story. Bernie Sanders wins Wisconsin. Changes nothing. And so this is typical. This isn't the worst thing in the world to say about Bernie Sanders, but this is just how he is perceived in mainstream media, especially places like the Daily Beast does this a lot. New York Times does this. Washington Post does this. It's that they have to try to mute any excitement that a Bernie Sanders win might create. And the funny part about this is 7 out of 8 wins for Bernie Sanders. That's a lot of states in a row to win. And just to be like, this changes nothing. He could have won, he could have lost, who cares, doesn't matter. It's very dismissive, it's ridiculous. And then they go on in the article so this is one of the lines from the article. Sure, Clinton's wins in Alabama, Tennessee, and some other states are what you might call valueless. Update, the preceding sentence originally included Oklahoma, which was wrong. Sanders won Oklahoma. Now, people make mistakes. It's not a problem to make a mistake. But what I find funny is that these mistakes are often made in the favor of Hillary Clinton. This is a writer. If you read the entire article, it's clear who he wants to win. It's not Bernie Sanders. But this is one of those mistakes where it's like people just in the media, Washington media, they just assume that Hillary wins states like Oklahoma. They just assume that she's doing better overall. They just assume that she's more electable. They don't really look into the data. This is somebody who gets paid to report facts, who clearly made a mistake in the original article saying that Hillary had won Oklahoma when she didn't. Now, is this the worst mistake in the world? No. But this goes to the notion that this is how Bernie Sanders is just treated over and over again. He's not looked at seriously. They don't really consider his wins. They don't look at what the data shows them. They just go with what is commonly said. They just go with what their friends tell them. The Washington media, they're all like this. They all talk to each other. They all think the same. It's a hive mind of all the same thinkers that don't think outside the box. And the reason I'm showing you this is not because this is the worst thing to show. The reason I'm showing you this is because the next article made a much bigger error that they also had to retract. So this is the New York Times. So after Bernie won Wisconsin, this was printed in the New York Times today. Senator Ted Cruz soundly defeated Donald J. Trump in the Wisconsin primary on Tuesday, breathing new life into efforts to halt Mr. Trump's divisive presidential candidacy and dealing a blow to his chances of clinching the Republican nomination before the party's summer convention. On the Democratic side, Senator Bernie Sanders defeated Hillary Clinton in a much closer contest. Okay, so why am I showing you this? Well, let's look at the data. Cruz won by 13.1 points. Sanders won by 13.5 points. The Cruz win is looked at as soundly defeating Donald J. Trump. Sanders' win is a much closer contest, even though he won by more points. So that was printed in the New York Times. But then online, the same article was online, and they went on to just delete the paragraph about Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, not even addressing the fact that Bernie Sanders won, or that he's won 7 out of 8 states. Just you don't need to know this information. It's okay. Just talk about Donald J. Trump and Ted Cruz, because that's what we're all talking about every fucking second of every fucking day. look at mainstream media at any point of the day, they're talking about Donald Trump, talking about what's going to happen at the convention, this and that, all about Republican Party. They never talk about Democratic Party. It's so rare to hear nuanced, deep discussion about the Democratic race and what's happening there. It's always about Donald Trump and Ted Cruz, and maybe Paul Ryan might come in and be the nominee, or maybe Kasich might get support. It's fucking stupid. It's not even just about bias. It's about just airtime. Not even talking about this Democratic race that's happening that, in my opinion, is way more interesting than what's happening on the Republican side. What's happening on the Republican side is a competition between who's going to lose in the fall. Because Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders will be the next president. There just is not enough support for a Republican nomination, for a Republican nominee to win the White House. But we spend so much fucking time talking about them that it just blows my mind that they're ignoring the much more interesting and more nuanced and tighter race between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, and all the excitement, the fact that he's come back down from practically zero support when he started his campaign to now beating her in many national polls. So a poll came out today, I forget who it was, but he's beating Hillary Clinton 49 to 47 nationally. And where's that discussion? Where's the fact that Hillary Clinton was expected to win the nomination soundly, and now there's this challenger, Bernie Sanders, who's giving her a run for her money? That discussion is incredibly rare in mainstream media. You're not going to see it. You're only going to see it in media online and YouTube, basically. This is what we've come to expect from mainstream media, and it's not really surprising.